Your Figma prototypes are about to become so much better. A couple days ago, Figma released a bunch of new features, and I'm going to show you one of them that I've been personally waiting for a long time. I'm of course talking about the sticky scroll behavior. In this video, I'm going to explain what it is and show you one of the best ways to use this powerful feature to create amazing interactions and impress your clients. Let's get started. So if you've been using Figma for prototyping, you know that you can create frames that you can actually scroll through. You also probably know that you can select individual items and then can actually make it so that their position is fixed, which means that when you scroll through the frame, this object that I've enabled this feature for stays in one place. But currently with this new release, you can do something called a sticky scroll behavior, which means when I set this object to sticky behavior, when I scroll through this page, it behaves as a normal object, but as soon as it touches the top edge of the page, it stays on the top of the page. So it essentially sticks to the top of the page, right? Hence the name sticky behavior. So let me just enable this for all of these elements that I have on this frame except for the last one. And under prototype, right, when you go to prototype, you can go to scroll behavior and then set that to sticky, stop at top edge. So when I enable this and then go to preview this prototype and scroll through the page, you can see how each one of these will get stuck on the top of the page like this. Whereas the last one is just, keeps moving up the page. I can change that by actually enabling this feature for this specific object as well. So sticky, stop at top edge. So that's the basic overview of the feature and how you can enable it. Now let me actually show you this cool thing that I have created that takes advantage of this feature and actually creates a very nice interaction where these navigation bars stay at the top of the page. When I scroll down the page and get to the first category and I keep scrolling further, you can see that this bar is being stuck on the top of the page, and then when I scroll further, the second one is being added to this group that just keeps sticking to the top of the page, and then I can scroll further and these categories just keep on adding. So, but that's not everything, right? Watch what happens when I click, for example, category 2. I go back to category 2. I can also go back to category 1 or just to any of these categories that I have established right here by clicking them. So let me actually explain how I did this. When I go to prototype, you can see there's a bunch of connections, but we're going to focus on this one, right? So what do we have here? This horizontal navigation bar is called frame 10. And of course, not surprisingly, the scroll behavior is set to sticky, right? Stop at top edge. But that's not the only thing, right? It also has this interaction where it's connected to this headline and the interaction says on click, scroll to this headline, right? With negative margin so that you actually don't scroll like this, but more like this, so that there's a bit of a margin here. And then I also have this animate option enabled right here. So this results in this navigation behavior where we can actually, click back on category 1 and go back to category 1. But that's not everything. If we were to take this and repeat this 3 additional times to get 4 individual categories, these categories would hide behind one another. So when I actually use these as an example, let me align them to the left so that they are in the same position, horizontally speaking. And then when I actually go back to that page, you can see how it sticks. This one sticks here, the second one as well, but there is a problem, right? So when I actually continue scrolling, since they are both centered horizontally, each new rectangle moves beneath or on top of the previous rectangles, which means it ends up being all in one place, and that's not very useful when I need to click individual rectangles, right? Individual objects. So here's what I did. I also accounted for this by adding this horizontal navigation bar to an auto layout, right? Where the top part of this auto layout is empty, right? This is transparent. And additionally, with each new category, I added one height to this transparency section. By one height, I mean 100% of the height of this first category, right? So let's say this is 33 points tall. This one will be 66. and the third one will be 99, and so on. I keep adding 33. This results in behavior where you actually don't get these individual horizontal bars hidden on top of one another, right? But that's again not everything. So I basically ran into a problem where when I wanted to click the first one, I kept clicking on the last one, which covered all of the remaining ones, right? So I decided to fix that by adding a rectangle inside of this auto layout with absolute position, and then I set the prototyping link, the scroll link, to that rectangle and not the whole bar, right? Not the whole navigation bar. So that's one way of fixing this, and yeah, this is the result. So this is something that I've been missing in Figma, and I think it will help designers to make interactions that are more understandable. Figma once again moves closer to the actual final HTML based website behavior, I guess. I really like this update, I really like this feature, and I think I'm gonna definitely start implementing this in my prototypes, and I think you should too. And as usual, there is an endless amount of possibilities and of designs that you can come up with using this feature. I'm going to be exploring some of these over the upcoming weeks and try to come up with some useful tips for you guys to actually implement this in your prototypes. And if you'd like to save time and download this template, you can check the link in the description. That will take you to my store. If you'd like to see a full tutorial on this, let me know by leaving a comment below. And also let me know if you have any other questions regarding this feature. I will do my best to help you out with that. So thanks for tuning in. Leave a like if this video helped you, and I will see you in the next one.